Hello and welcome to a frequently asked questions video for Summer Math 1. I've received a lot of really good emails recently and I've been replying to most of them. I received an email this morning that pretty much hit all of the standard questions that everyone's asking, all of them right on the head. So I decided to put them into a document, and of course for people's privacy I deleted names out. But these 7 questions hit on like the main topics that most people are concerned about while they're making the decision of whether or not to take Math 1 over the summer. As well as what are they looking at once they decide to take Math 1. So to dive in, first question here, if you register now, would you be able to get the material right away or have to wait until the orientation meeting on the 24th? So I will throw in here, this orientation meeting is a very important date. Please go ahead and put that on your calendar. But to answer this question, you can have it now. So I will show you right now how we do that. So I will be sending out an email once a week, starting this coming Monday or Tuesday, since we're off school Monday. As a welcome email saying like, hey, you're officially registered for the course. Here's how you get into Schoology. And Schoology is our learning management system that Worthington has chosen. There's a few out there. We went through a really nice process and decided Schoology was the best one that we have. So this is that learning management system. If students have never been into Schoology before, they log into it through the cloud, just like they log into any of the other apps that I guess Worthington uses through their classrooms. So they click on the Schoology icon, it will bring them here. The students already have a Schoology account. They would then need to go to courses and click join. And when they go to join course, it's going to ask them for an access code. That access code will be in that email that I send to you guys. It's also on the page here. I'm really not afraid of people having this access code because if they're not meant to be in the class, all it means is they can get to the things that they could access otherwise probably. The only thing that being in this Schoology class really does for you is it gives you a nice organization to everything. All my videos are accessible on my YouTube channel. The materials that we have posted on here are accessible hard copy in my classroom. So if students want to come in and get handouts, that's also an option. You can see here a couple things on the main page. These are announcements that'll roll and be up to date. Newest will be on top. So last year on the final exam, we made question 43 a freebie because it really delves more into the Math 2 content. A big thing on the right-hand side here is what we sort of call the Sports Center feed. Like you would see with an RMS feed or like when you go on Twitter or whatever, this has what is upcoming and what's important for the students to care about. So the first due dates that we actually have on assignments is June 5th. And you can see that really all of the first 4 assessments should be completed by then. Ideally, the students would actually be further along than just done with their first 4 assessments. If you want to see an entire view of the calendar, you click on the calendar right here. And of course, it'll take you to today. So as we go towards, there's our orientation meeting. And then we get into June, where there's actually some due dates, and students can keep looking at that. If you notice, practice work for everything beyond Chapter 4, practice work and the notes being turned in are required before taking the assessment. So essentially the students hand us a packet of their notes and their practice, and then they're able to take the assessment. So question 1, yes, you can gain access now as soon as you get your welcome email, or honestly when you watch this video, your student can go on and join the Schoology class. Are there online lessons that would allow students to start working right now? There most definitely are. I've been teaching this class for 4 years now. So when you go on the left-hand side, this is all the different options for the course. Students will look slightly different in my view, but if they go to materials, that's where everything for the course is going to be housed. So right here, I'm going to update this video with an intro to Schoology once I clean everything up for this year. Here's the first 4 chapters. Again, I need to clean some things up, some pictures. The links have died. Those pictures aren't there anymore. But chapters 1 through 4 should be overlap material with what they're covering in Math 8 right now. So they may have started to dabble in it a little bit. They're going to do a bit more of it as the year finishes up. So these first 4 chapters should be reviewed. They are not required to complete lessons or practice work for the first 4 chapters of this class. So the only thing students are required to complete, now of course I have some help materials here. I have a bunch of different things if they need, but right down here at the bottom of every chapter folder, 1 through 4 are the assessments. Students can actually access these right now. They can download the PDF, or they can right from the Schoology page, print the PDF. Form K is going to be slightly easier than Form G. So if students really want to check their skills and they want to make sure that they've mastered this stuff, I would advise using the Form G. If they're still a little iffy and they want a slightly easier time, they could use the Form K. But again, both of those are in this folder. Up here at the top, you'll notice I can go back folder by folder. But if I click Hudson Summer Math 1, I have it defaulted to go back to updates. So you'll always land on updates page and would then need to click on materials. So for the new learning, chapters 5 and beyond, if you go to one of those folders, you'll see everything's laid out by sections. So textbook excerpts are anything that I've put in there from the actual textbook. Help me videos are anytime a student asks a question about a problem, I will make a video for them, and all of that will be housed in here. So if students are having issues with something, they might check the Help Me folder before necessarily reaching out, or you can reach out for help and I'll let you know if I've already made a video. In each of these folders, you'll see I've laid out what's the key concept, what's the actual state standard. That can help students if they're trying to search for help. So if they go online and they're trying to search for a reputable website to help them with these skills, knowing the actual coding of the state standard can really help. A couple of visuals that are normally helpful, and then if you click anywhere, either on the blue text or anywhere within here, it'll take you into the folder. This is a module that students will start to learn how to work. Here is the notes if they need that. Again, physical copies are available in my classroom. The homework is right here. Again, always a PDF. Homeworks, and this is outlined in my syllabus, but homework is expected to be completed to at least 50% completion. So I normally tell the students choose evens or odds, decide what problem set you want to do, and go from there. When they complete the homeworks, so say they go through 5.1, here's our lesson video. So if you click on that, that's me talking. Now back then I did not have the little picture-in-picture, so you'll be missing that. But if you click on the YouTube icon, that'll actually take you to the YouTube page, and then you can full screen it from there. You can adjust the speed. I have a lot of kids that like to increase the speed because they can work a little bit faster than I did making the videos, which is not surprising. A lot of these kids are really, really talented with the concepts that we're going to be working through. So that is where you'll find the video lessons. Once a student completes the homework, we ask that they check their homework, and that is down at the bottom of the folder, answers to practice and more. So if they want to work through any other activities, there are some extra materials in there as well as the answers. So when they click on that, again, just PDF, answers are shown in pink. And we talk at our first face-to-face session, but because there's the and more, they kind of have to scroll until they find their homework. So here's their practice, and that's the Form G practice. If they decide to do the Form K practice, they would just scroll past the Form G, and then they'll find the Form K. Next question, will the grade and course show up on their high school record and GPA? That's kind of a yes and no. So the course, yes, it'll show up that they have taken the high school Math 1 course, and the grade, their letter grade, will show on their transcript, but GPA is a no. So the reason for that is because the OHSAA, the High School Athletic Association, has determined that if students were able to use a summer course to impact their GPA, that could be used in ways that if they were ineligible in the spring, somehow they become eligible over the summertime, and they didn't really want that to be a way that students could kind of manipulate the situation. If students do not pass the course, the Summer Math 1 course, it's essentially like they never took it, like it never happened. It's just an incomplete, and then they will take the Math 1 course through the year, and that grade will replace the fact that they had an incomplete. But it really, I'm not even 100% certain if the incomplete shows on their transcript or not. But the course shows, the grade shows, assuming they pass, GPA does not impact. All right, on to question 4. It says, on Tuesday, the face-to-face sessions take place. Do they have to be there the entire 4 hours? Absolutely not. Students actually don't have to attend the face-to-face session on Tuesday. The point of the weekly face-to-face is so that one of the instructors, either myself or Ms. Tecklenburg, would check in with the students, make sure that they're progressing along, work with them on anything they're having difficulties with, and take assessments. So students have to complete assessments for anything Chapter 5 and beyond in our face-to-face setting. Anything else that they're doing, their practice work, their notes, any of that can be done outside of class. I've also offered up to students before, we have a decent Wi-Fi network here, so if they have their own computer, we have an outdoor classroom around back. They could come here and work in the outdoor classroom. They can work in the library. They can work in one of the other classrooms in the pod here. As long as teachers are here to meet with them, they can do their work wherever they want. They don't have to be in the school at all, and if they miss a week, totally fine. We just want them to email and touch base with us. We can touch base on the phone or text each other. The students just have to touch base so that if they start to fall behind, we can make a plan to catch them up. Actually, when I started teaching this course, I thought that we would have class together on Tuesdays, and very quickly found out that every student's going to progress at their own pace, and trying to do the same thing with all the students at the same time would not make any sense. So those face-to-face sessions more become individual meetings, and then group work on if there's any big misconceptions or big errors going on kind of across the board. Back over on our Schoology page, you'll see that the second folder here is face-to-face class videos and corresponding notes. So if a student misses a face-to-face class video, that would get posted here. So I've already got the folders for the different face-to-face days that are scheduled right now. If we have other face-to-face days that just happen, or if I have other videos that belong somewhere, those will normally be posted in those Help Me folders. You can see here past summer recordings. If we go back to like last summer, every day that we met face-to-face, recordings will be posted here of what we went through. So the first video was just the basics of what we were talking about. Then we reviewed some Chapter 1 test questions, some Chapter 2 test questions. So of course there are materials here that students can access, and that will help them complete those assessments. But as I always tell the students, they're setting themselves up for their future success. So make sure that these skills make sense to them and they don't just use those help resources to get through those difficult problems or anything like that. But if a student missed a class, I would advise come in, check the folder, watch through the video, see if there was anything important really that they were not part of. Question 5, if they choose to come in additional days and times, do they have to make an appointment/arrangement with you for a particular time within the open hours? Yes, we prefer that they do, especially because this year is going to be the first year that we are co-teaching this course. Ms. Tecklenburg and myself will be working the open office hours for which one of us will be here. And if no students have told us that they're going to come in, we may not come in. We might be out working remotely. We might be at one of the libraries working with a student. We might be taking care of something else with our staff for our individual schools, different things like that. So students do need to make arrangements. They can send us a text message or a Schoology message. We will talk about that at the open house as well as our first face-to-face class session. For whatever reason, a student decides to pull out of the course, is there a withdrawal period or consequence? Once the course actually starts on June 4th, no refunds can be made. So students right now that are registered, if they decide before we get to the actual start of the course, and it may actually be sooner than that, so please don't take the June 4th as a date that you can cite me on. I would check that with the Education Center, but the course does fill up every year. So if a student is still on the fence and you register that student and then they decide to drop the course, we ask that you do that sooner than later so that open spot can be given to a student that would like to participate in the course. With the consequence of the academic record, if they don't pass the class, it just goes in as an incomplete. I'm not even sure if it goes on the transcript, but it will be replaced when they take the course through the traditional school year. And question number 7 here, would the continuation of this course in high school be Honors Math 2? Is there a minimum passing grade or testing score? So I have a course final exam for my class, but then there's also the end of course exam through the state, which cannot be taken over the summer. So easy answer to number 7 first, that is always up to the students, whether they take honors or regulars. We make an advisement, and their current teacher right now is working with them on scheduling. So if they're an 8th grader right now, they're working on high school scheduling right now. Sorry about that. But they would make the choice of whether they would be an honors or regular. If they're a student that's trying to progress through an entire math course over the summer, I would probably advise that they take the honors course. A lot of times those students end up bored in a regular course, but that again is up to the student and their current teacher who knows them a little bit better. Minimum passing grade, there means standard passing grade with Worthington. And then the testing score, they will take the end of course assessment in the fall once they're actually in the academic calendar, because we cannot access those state end of course exams, but that does not impact their scheduling for honors math versus regular math. So that is the end of our list of questions there. I think that was pretty comprehensive for what people have been asking in the past and in this year. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is a big encouragement for your students to start as soon as possible. As we get into quarter 4, normally the academic workload tapers down, students are traveling or we're doing testing, they're not taking home homework. The most success that I've seen students have here is when they stretch this out as long as possible, and students can finish before July. I've had students finish within the June semester of the summer school schedule. So really, as soon as students can get started, they can interact with me. All because we haven't started summer school doesn't mean that they can't turn in papers or anything like that. So if students are taking assessments and they'd like to send them over here, their current math teacher can use inter-office mail to send those to me. Just Micah Hudson at Phoenix Middle School. The students can come in and pick up hard copies of things if they want to stop by Phoenix. Our school day goes until 4:30, Monday through Thursday, so that's a nice option available for them, as well as working with each other. A big point of advice here is if students can find kind of an ally or a partner for as they work through this course, normally things go a lot better for them. And this can also happen kind of online. In every chapter, and I chose chapter 8 because it's got a lot of nice visuals as we scroll through here, kids immediately start scrolling down, and they often go past this right here is a discussion board that exists inside every chapter folder that says, please post in here what issues you're having, questions, comments, concerns. A lot of times, students will answer these for each other, as opposed to me getting on and answering. That helps me know what students are mastered with these skills and what students need more work. And that's just really great that students start to realize they can rely on each other and not just the teacher. Some points over on the left-hand side you might want to make sure you look at as your students get into the course. This grade book will house the grades for our course for this year. So right now there's nothing because the quarter that we're in. But if we went to summer, if it was open, then it would show our assignments, and each assignment will have its score listed there as the students work through. And one other point, this course does end up being graded on a slight curve because it is a summer school course. So your student's final grade will end up curved, normally a bit higher, hopefully a bit higher than the grade that they would have had. So that tends to help the students also. Here in this small purple folder, useful websites extensions, we add to that as we go, but a bunch of different useful things students can add as well. I've got a discussion board in there. So that's nice for the students to be able to use, and I think that is essentially it. So April 24th, please mark your calendars for that informational meeting. That should be at Phoenix, but I'm not 100% certain on the time right now. So hope to see you there on April 24th, and hopefully your student is already registered by then and working on the material so that we can get a nice head start. Feel free to email me any questions, just mhudson@wscloud.org, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. Thank you very much, and have a great day.